Hello beloved soul, welcome to my channel. This is Purasa. In this recording I will be talking about signs you are a twin flame. I am sure you have experienced lots of things while you are in journey and you are wondering, really, am I in twin flame? Maybe you have self-doubt or things coming and popping up from the bottom. When you met with your twin flame, you will find that you know them actually. So there is a intense knowing inside of you. You are not sure why, but the feeling of the comfort familiar. Some describe it as a feeling of homecoming. The moment I met my twin, I felt like I needed to be near him actually. It made no sense maybe, but just being in this present, I felt calm actually. I felt this protective energy around him and I crave it, to be honest. And in twin flame romance, the connection is meant to explode all of your prejudice, preconceived notions, limiting beliefs, attraction to twin actually who doesn't fit your idea of what is an ideal man actually should look like. It's confusing to most of us actually. My twin is nothing like a man I would normally look for on a physical level. Mostly I had one type I was attracted to and he wasn't it. Now regardless of any man in front of me, he is the only one I see. It's so strange, isn't it? Normally when you met love interest, your heart goes Peter and Potter actually. When you met your twin flame, your heart will literally pound out from your chest. The image that comes to mind is that of cartoon character falling in love. Remember those 20th century cartoons where the character's heart would protrude forward upon seeing his love interest? That is exactly what it feels like actually. That is exactly what it feels like. Most of the time you are not going to have any idea what is going on. You could even fall into panic thinking you are having a heart attack. Palpitation are that strong. This is sign related to your hearts finding each other. This telltale twin flame romance signs. God programmed your hearts to beat fast and hard when you find each other, so you can truly recognize that this is something special. Along with heart recognition, heart chakra healing was started for both of you. We all have heart wounds, and this initial union is designed to start the healing process. In the beginning, it was uncanny how my heart would pound every time my twin was in front of me or was about to be. This initial activation lasted for a couple of months. I would say to myself, good God, when is this going to stop? I can't handle it. And this frequent feeling did subside actually, but now the heart palpitation happened when he's thinking about me and our thoughts connect, or if he's about to call or text me. It's kind of telepathic connection. You will also get major heart palpitation when you are going through the spiritual upgrade, which I will address them actually later. Unfortunately for most of us in this journey, this is the point at which the obsessions start actually. Intense longing to be with them. And you recognize that connection, it's undeniable, intense. And you start to crave their presence obsessively. Looking into their eyes gives you a high like you never felt. It is amazing. And the twin flame journey is not easy one. It's actually a really hard one. As such, you will notice that at least one or if not more huge obstacle that you must overcome in order to get there. It can be distance, it can be third party, it can be family, it can be religion, it can be any form. One of is a huge age gap, can be. For my twin and I, we have found a 2 year sketch actually. Some of them has 10 years. The whales find that their partner is married or in relationship, or there are major cultural, religion, sociological difference between them. While huge obstacle can happen in other romantic partnership obstacles are almost must in a twin flame one. When clients come to me and say they have no obstacles whatsoever with their romantic partner, who they believe in their twin, I can almost tell them it is not a twin flame connection, because the nature of twin flame union is about shattering paradigms, healing collective. There is always something major to overcome actually. And also, twin flame intimacy is literally out of the world. You may say things like, "You are the best lover I have ever had," even though you only had sex with them one time. With a twin flame, you just know each other. You know each other's likes, dislikes. Lovemaking just flows. And sex for twin flames is awakening Kundalini energy. If you are not familiar with the concept of Kundalini, check out the YouTube or another places where I can explain it and go into details and chakras later on. And the sex doesn't stop there. Twin flame also experience telepathic sex in the fifth dimension. It is the wildest crazy ride you have ever known. I would never in a million years believe that something like that is real. But oh boy, it is real. Almost every bit of twin flame journey is unconventional, but the emotional release pace was by far the most bizarre for me. When I met my twin flame, I was going through a lot of hardship in my life, to say the least. I had just moved into another country. I didn't know a single person. I was going through custody, battle the keep. I was doing so much things. I had so much stuff. I wasn't exactly in a position to meet love its interest. And yet there he was. On top of all, you will learn after the initial phases, crazy intense love, come to separation. It was during the separation that emotional release started. For some who hasn't been through it, the state you find yourself is really difficult to describe. All of us have been in love in some point in our lives and had our hearts broken. And you might be able to take a walk down memory lane to your teenage years when that one person broke your heart. You felt devastated, as if the world might end. And you are crying. Love made you feel as you might vomit out your insides. Then after a few days, or maybe after a few hours, proof it is gone like it never happened. The emotional release designed to heal your hurt and your twin flame's hurt is incredibly deep. It is healing a cellular level of every heartache you have ever had in this lifetime and others. When my twin first ignored me or ghosted me, I wasn't sad, I was angry. I was grown enough in a relationship to realize that I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. So it wasn't feeling of sadness and rejection. It was more of a reaction that said, that jerk, he doesn't know what he's missing. I was also confused over it because nothing really happened. But after the initial separation, every time I thought about him and I saw him, I would get teary-eyed for no specific reason. I got so bad that if I saw him during the day, I would have to hold it together until I got my car. And then the floodgates would open. The weirdest things about the whole experience was there wasn't any specific emotion tied to the crying. I was peachy 1 minute and the next I was crying like the world was ending. But one inside I was fine. After a short time, crying became, oh, I love him so much. I have also heard of other twin flames having had the same experience. But wait, it gets even better. Every time I would see a picture of him, even see his name written, I would burst into tears. It had nothing to do with the fact that I missed him or I was angry at him at that point. It was emotional release coming completely out of left field. And there was nothing you can do to get away from it. That's the other side. The question is, I often get from YouTube viewers is, how long does this crying phase last? And my answer, this crying phase lasts actually as long as it takes. You might have lifetimes of trauma or overcome. Your twin is helping you release everything you need to. And you are doing the same for them. For me, it took about 7 to 8 months. As you are healing, fits of crying come periodically, and then they only happen once in a while. Even though if you feel never get through it, you will rest assured. Actually, it gets easier since you know what is it actually. And unless you have a clinical diagnosis of depression or another psychological disorder, don't take medication and to try to suppress it. Let it out, let it flow. It is necessary for your healing actually. So the outpouring of love you have for your twin is something you may have never experienced in your lifetime. Most of us have only experienced love with condition. And I will dive deep into love and transformation you will encounter in a twin flame connection actually. Your twin flame could be the most broken person on planet Earth. You will feel immense love for them all the time. You will experience normal human emotion with them. That may not all be positive, but the underlying feeling is that unconditional love. I had, seen many kids, many people in my life. Love them no matter what. As a child, I never felt unconditionally loved. I never wanted my children to live through the trauma of not feeling the love I so crave. For this, I practice unconditional love with my environment, with everybody. But I was missing things, and I noticed, and I wasn't loving unconditionally after I met with my twin flame. And it made world the difference in a way. I see actually the all illusion fade away actually. This is really something so big. And God and angels are going to everything to get you and your twin together. Once you have initial contact, strange occurrence will keep happening, put you and your twin in the same space. The place where I met with my twin wasn't even a place where I intended to be. A few months prior to meeting him, I was living close to 3,000 miles away. We didn't meet under ideal circumstances. Yet many synchronicities, events brought us in the same time and the same place, to be honest. Even a horrible circumstance will bring you and your twin together. I can laugh now. The drama caused my twin I talk together. It wasn't very funny at the time, actually. But even then, I knew that the God's plan, universe plan, was causing the drama to happen. So we were forced to talk. And God will also synchronize events so other people talk to you about your twin and have them talk to your twin about you. When we had a separation after our first day together, that he got scared and ran. Random person come up to me and start talking about my twin. In my head, I was saying, "In this the same person as my twin that she's talking about?" And it's the world to hear. I was feeling so much things, was so intense. There's lots of things happening, guys. At the time I met my twin, I was seeing angel numbers for quite some time. If you are not aware, angel numbers are, for example, 444, 777, 333, 1111, or seeing the same number 3 or more times on one day. Your angels and your guides will try to communicate with you in a way they possibly can. And if they can get you to notice numbers, they can get you to notice other signs they are sending your way. This is really important. My favorite book to help interpret angel numbers and angel numbers 101 by Doreen Virtue. It is out of print, but you can probably get a copy used actually. When I met my twin, I kept thinking he was 44 years old. I had no idea how old he was, so 44 seemed pretty close. It wasn't until about 6 weeks later and then I learned his real age. Younger than 44, the number 44, it is a twin flame number and also number meaning you are surrounded by the angels. This was my angel wise way of telling me It's him. He's the one. Pay attention. Besides seeing repetitive series of numbers, you will also see the other sign like feathers, license plates with a meaning for you, your twin, road signs, advertisement, or any other way your angels can point out you in a direction of your twin and give you reassurance. My twin doesn't have the common of first and last name. One time I was salsa dancing, and the only time I looked up to the TV screen playing sport above me, I saw my twin flame's last name on the screen. Then one time I was walking around town after seeing my twin. A bunch of drunk guys walked by and started shouting his first name out loud. I know for certain they weren't talking about him, but someone else, since the contexts were completely unrelated, and so I knew my angels were giving me sign of affirmation. And the other things, much of our connection is non-verbal, even though we are not always aware. I have heard that almost 90% of all communication is non-verbal. Yes, telepathy is non-verbal exchange of information. It has been documented that biological twins have telepathy. Women who live together or who are connected by strong bond telepathically share information so that their menstrual cycles orchestrate. You might say, Prasa, this is ridiculous. That's not communication. Oh, but it is. We only think of communication as happening through the words or mind. But we communicate all the time through our bodies and cells. Our soul's energy field communicate with each other. Have you ever walked into a room and gotten freaked out because it felt creepy? Your body energy field were picking up on the energy in the room. Maybe something bad happened there. Whatever it was, something was communicated to you. Twins have communicative capabilities all levels actually. And they can communicate in all dimensions across time and space. You and your twin flame communicate in dreams. You are in a constant communication with your twin soul. And in the waking state, you can communicate via the mind with your twin. My twin and I communicate a lot when we look at each other's eyes. We lived through the period of time when we couldn't talk freely. So the fact that we got to see each other helped tremendously. Also, my twin communicated with me a lot in my dreams. He could answer direct questions and tell me things. The first time he told me he loved me was in dream. Now it gets even better. Because as I mentioned, in the 5D, fifth dimension, you have always been in union with your twin flame. But you may not be consciously aware of that. Nor would you necessarily have access to communicate with your twin soul. I had 3P experience that allowed me to talk my twin's higher self. Believe me, I don't do drugs and even things alcohol. And this has actually happened to me. So it's happened in the night of full moon around 4 p.m. I was on a break and meditating. All of a sudden, like a flash lightning, I felt my twin merged with me. We were one. There was nothing that could separate us. For the first time in a long time, I felt at peace. I felt that he was completely integrated with my being. It was the most beautiful feeling I ever felt. Even I walked out 5 minutes later, I literally walked into him. It was funny because I saw him, scrambling about something, but all I could do was smile because of what I knew. To top of it all of, no joke, I looked up the sky because it had been raining and saw a rainbow. After that moment, I have been able to communicate freely with his higher self. And his higher self gives me answers and talks directly to me if I am in the quiet meditative state. It has been a blissful experience because in a separation I couldn't get direct answer from him. And but his higher self would tell me things that later he confirmed in person to be true. In this collective awakening around the 2018, 2019 and beyond, you are not going to meet your twin flame unless you are spiritually aware. Even if you were to meet with your twin flame, you wouldn't recognize them. Thus it stands the reason that if you are with your twin, you have some psychic abilities that starting open up. Perhaps you may have already been clairvoyant or at least intuitive or never hunt yourself. As for me, I have been psychic my whole life. I would have never told in that though. I grew up with a strict Catholic mother who would have taught me posed by demon if I had told her that. But always I had conversation with the universe and angels starting at about the age of 5. I just didn't know that was normal to me. It was completely normal. Then I started seeing things happening and like I could predict future events and without understanding how I was doing mostly. It's still I knew I had this focus power. I had very bad breakup at the end of the 2012, 13. I went to see psychic on a recommendation for someone I knew. During the reading, she told me that I would doing tarot reads like her. I told her she was completely crazy in 2015. I started doing readings for myself upon getting high house, season through Doreen Virtual. I started doing readings for others. I was only 10 and I accepted my gift. Once I met with my twin, I started channeling without cards. I guess had done that all along, but it got much stronger after we met. The funny thing is, one day he told me that he was leader psychic. He told me this completely out of context, the conversation we were having. Plus, he just not the type of say something like that. I told him about my abilities too. Then on the way home, it hit me. I thought, of course, he is psychic. He is the other half of my soul. We are the same. There are no way he couldn't be. You will start to know things about your twin. You will know that what they are thinking, how they are feeling. Then it will extend other people and situations. You will know the people that are trying to keep you apart. This is important information to know because as you get closer to a reunion, people will show up who will try to sabotage the relationship. Remember, this is a spiritual battle, not a relationship one. Universe wanted Twinflame to be union as his unconditional love. The more that couples are joined the unconditional love and become collective force, universe can better implement his plan for the planet. However, darker force will try to keep twin flames from coming together. We will address this my later recording actually, I'm thinking. So I shared earlier that the moment I spoke with my twin about our personal stories, I knew we would be married or we would be together. It had nothing to do with attraction, inspiration, wishful thinking. I just knew there is inner knowing, just knowing. And then I know he knew too. Throughout our initial time together, that sentiment was constantly reinforced. Yet on the surface, it made no sense. We were in different stages and phases in our lives. He's much younger. I had already had and raised kids. We were raised in a different culture. We had others obstacles in our path too. I could find the entire list of arguments as why it wouldn't work, while along I had nagging feeling that would. Even in my darkest moments in a separation, when I thought he hated me, I knew he was mine. My YouTube viewers was those who I read often ask me if the person they met or are in relation with is their twin. Person, I can't give anyone that answer. You are the only one who knows. If you don't trust your intuition now to survive this journey, you will have to learn. Much of what we have experienced on the Twinflame journey is felt through our intuition. If you can't trust that, you are in for a lot of confusion. If you are mistrusting your inner voice, you will find yourself in and out psychiatrist's office, and you don't want to go there. Modern medicine knows nothing about spirituality. It is kind of like asking your pastor for medical advice, right? Another reason why you must trust your intuition is that others will think you are going crazy, like mine. If you share some of the Twinflame experience with family and friends, they will chart you off and the psych ward actually. In the next pace, you will experience so much drama because of you experience your feeling to them. They will call you crazy. I am sure you have heard the cheeky expression, if you want to get over someone, get under someone else. Well, in a regular romantic relationship that might work, but not in twin flame romance. In all seriousness, after a breakup, divorce, or pain will eventually go away. Everyone tends to move on and healing takes place. On surefire way to detect that twin flame romance is that the more you are separated, the stronger the connection becomes. It's the weirdest thing ever. You keep thinking, oh, I can't get rid of them. I will just go far away and stop thinking about them. It doesn't work because your twin flame is inside of you. Your connection resides in your soul. And you are not getting rid of your soul anytime soon. So good luck with that. The best thing you can do is accept that your twin is here to stay, whether in the third dimension or fifth dimension. Then embrace that fact that you always have someone looking out for you beside God and an angel. To summarize, a twin flame romance is going to look a lot different than the traditional romantic relationship. You will have experience you may have never had with others actually. Many things are going to be beyond your cognitive reasoning, but that doesn't make it less real. Take the signs for what they are and add in your own, complete your list. The best way to know if you are truly twin flame is follow your intuition, guys. As I mentioned, meditate, pray on it, to talk God, to talk universe, and you will get clarity when you are ready to receive it. I love you. Take care of yourself.